Good morning. We're in the season of the Feast of Dedication, which has been changed to cover up the historical proof of why it is important for us to remember how our ancestors felt about the laws, about the commandments, about the statutes, and what we were willing to die for as a people, as a nation. This is 1 Maccabees. I'm going to read 1 through chapter 4, and it will give you the historical reason for why we celebrate or remember, not that it's a commandment that was given or ordained by the Most High through Moses, all right, but some choose to call it Hanukkah, which is a falsehood, another lie. So for those who don't know the difference, this is the basis for Hanukkah, which is really supposed to be the Feast of Dedication. And to understand a deception, we have to understand that the menorah has 6 branches, as ordained by the Most High Yah, and not 8 branches. And the Feast of Dedication has nothing to do with oil in a lamp. So with that being said, I will read 1 Maccabees chapter 1 through 4. And it happened after Alexander, the son of Philip, the Macedonian, who came out of the land of Shittim, had smitten Darius, king of the Persians and Medes, that he reigned in his stead the first over Greece, and made many wars, and won many strongholds, and slew the kings of the earth, and went through the ends of the earth, and took spoils of many nations, insomuch that the earth was quiet before him. Whereupon he was exalted, and his heart was lifted up. And he gathered a mighty strong host, and ruled over the countries and nations and kings who became tributaries unto him. After these things he fell sick, and perceived that he should die. Wherefore he called his servants, such as were honorable, and had been brought up with him from his youth, and parted his kingdom among them while he was yet alive. So Alexander, which is Alexander the Great, reigned 12 years, and then died. And his servants bare rule, every one in his place. And after his death, they all put crowns upon themselves. So did their sons after them many years, and evils were multiplied in the earth. I'm going to read that again. And after Alexander the Great's death, they all put crowns upon themselves. So did their sons after them many years, and evils were multiplied in the earth. One more time, because this is important. After Alexander the Great died, they all put crowns upon themselves, and so did their sons after them many years, and evils were multiplied in the earth. And there came out of them a wicked root, Antiochus, surnamed Epiphanes, son of Antiochus the king, who had been an hostage at Rome, and he reigned in the 137th year of the kingdom of the Greeks. And in those days went out there In those days went there out of Israel wicked men who persuaded many, saying, Let us go and make a covenant with the heathen that are round about us, for since we departed from them, we have had much sorrow. So this device pleased them well. Then certain of the people were so forward herein that they went to the king, who gave them license to do after the ordinances of the heathen. Now, one thing we have to get within our spirit is that our ancestors, many of us, still held on to the covenant that was given unto us and the prophecy that was given to us. The Most High said, if we keep his commandments, we shall live. We be the head and not the tail. All right. But the Most High is wise in his understanding and his reasoning for things. For he's going to work a mighty work within his people. And it's being worked out right now. But we have to understand the historical basis for some things. So, certain of the people were so forward herein that they went to the king, who gave them license to do after the ordinances of the heathen. So they wanted to forsake the laws of God to do the laws of the heathen. So understand, we were given laws by the Most High, Yah, and some of our people here, because of the struggles and the stresses that they were under, say, you know what, let's go to the heathen king and ask him over the Most High to give us a license to do after the ordinances of the heathen. So they said, you know what, we'd rather have y'all over us than the Most High, Yah. That's basically what happened, and that's how they became Hellenistic Jews. So 14, whereupon they built a place of exercise at Jerusalem according to the customs of the heathen, and made themselves uncircumcised, and forsook the holy covenant, and joined themselves to the heathen, and were sold to do mischief. Now when the king was established before Antiochus, when the kingdom was, he thought to reign over Egypt, that he might have dominion of 2 realms. Wherefore he entered into Egypt with a great multitude, with chariots and elephants and horsemen, and a great navy, and made war against Ptolemy, king of Egypt. But Ptolemy was afraid of him, and fled, and many were wounded to death. Thus they got the strong cities in the land of Egypt, and he took the spoils thereof. And after that Antiochus had spent in Egypt, he returned again in the 140th year, in the 143rd year, and went up against Israel and Jerusalem with a great multitude. Jerusalem, they laid them up there, and so they became a sore snare. For it was a place to lie in wait against the sanctuary, and an evil adversary to Israel. Thus they shed innocent blood on every side of the sanctuary, and defiled it, insomuch that the inhabitants of Jerusalem fled because of them. Whereupon the city was made an habitant of strangers, and became strange to those that were born in her, and her own children left her. So again, this was our city. This is where we are from, but yet we were driven out. Okay? And it says, her sanctuary was laid waste like a wilderness. Her feasts were torn into mourning, her Sabbaths unto reproach, her honor into contempt. As had been her glory, so was her dishonor increased, and her excellency was torn into mourning. That's kind of like us right now. We're not the head, we're the tail, and we are so despised, and we are far removed from that which we once were. This is our true heritage here. Okay? Moreover, King Antiochus wrote to his whole kingdom that all should be one people. All right, so we cease from being a nation to being a nation inside of a nation. All right, he says that everyone should leave his laws. So leave the laws of Elohim. And then so all the heathen agreed according to the commandment of the king. So Israelites became heathens when they departed from the laws of the Most High. All right, they became Jews and Greeks at this time. All right, but they still were Jews to Paul. Yea, many also of the Israelites consented to his religion and sacrificed unto idols and profaned the Sabbath. So, again, leaving the laws and the statutes and the commandments of the Most High, you wind up giving yourself to gods of the other peoples, to religions of the other peoples. All right? Not that we have a religion. We don't have a religion. We have a heritage, a way of life that we've forgotten that we are learning to try to walk therein. For the king has sent letters by messengers unto Jerusalem and unto the city of Judah, okay, so the cities of Judah. Now understand, we are the Yahudi, we are Yehuda, Jews, okay, we are the Jews, we are Yehuda, and Yehoshua is a Yahudi from the tribe of Yehuda, Judah. Okay, so for the king had sent letters by messengers unto Jerusalem and to the cities of Judah that they should follow the strange laws of the land. Kind of like we serve in the strange laws of the land here in Babylon. And for being burnt offerings and sacrifice and drink offerings in the temple, and that they should profane the Sabbaths and festival days, and pollute the sanctuary and holy people, set up altars and groves and chapels of idols, and sacrifice swine's flesh and unclean beasts, that they should also leave their children uncircumcised, and make their souls abominable with all manner of uncleanness and profanation, to the end they might forget the law and change all the ordinances. That's why we're here in Babylon right now. We have forgotten the law, and as Daniel writ and stated, I think it may be Daniel chapter 7, verse 25, all right, the laws have been changed, and the feast days have been changed, the times have been changed. But again, verse 49, to the end that we may forget the law and change all the ordinances. Now, this is a good segue when we say, well, I think it may be in Hosea where it says, Yah says, my people perish for the lack of knowledge. All right. So we forgot the law, and we forgot the ordinances. Okay, and we forgot the holy days, not the holidays, the holy days. We forgot them. So he says, my people perish for lack of knowledge, because we don't have that knowledge. And because we reject knowledge, because when someone brings us the knowledge, we reject it. He said, because we reject knowledge, he will reject us as his priests. We are the priests of Elohim. Every man and every woman inside this home is a priest of Elohim. All right. And he says, because we reject knowledge, he will also forget our children. So that's why our children are being shot, killed, dead out in the streets every day. That's why we're killing each other every day, because we don't know the law. We don't believe that it matters, but it does. It's like this right here. How is keeping the law a curse when the law gives you life? All right. Torah gives you life. When the Most High say thou shalt not kill, that gives you life. If you kill someone, all right, someone may take your life or put you in jail. That takes away your life. So how is following the law a curse? All right. Thou should not commit adultery. All right. Thou should not bear false witness. Okay. Thou should not be envious or jealous. All right. All these things lead to death. All right. But yet we have been groomed to believe that keeping the law is a curse. But no, it's a blessing. Paul wrote things hard to understand so that in these days, the people that's teaching us these lies can be caught up by their own snares. So, and even then, for further understanding, we're not saved by the law, all right? We're saved by grace through faith of the Hamashiach, which is Yeshua, all right? But the law, the waters of life, the Torah, gives us life. And if we want the Most High to bless us, read Deuteronomy chapter 30, and then all of this will make sense because it's part of our covenantal blessing and what has to happen for the second Exodus to come. Verse 50. And whosoever would not do according to the commandment of the king, he said, should die. In the selfsame manner wrote he this whole kingdom and appointed overseers over all the people, commanded the city of Judah to sacrifice city by city. Then many of the people were gathered unto them, to wit, every one that forsook the law, and so they committed evils in the land. Most I say this is evil being committed in the land when we forsake his law and his holy days. All right. And drove the Israelites into secret places, even wheresoever they could flee for succor. Now, the 15th day of the month of Caslo, I might be pronouncing that wrong, in the 145th year, they set up the abomination of desolation upon the altar and builded idol altars throughout the cities of Yehuda on every side, and burnt incense at the doors of their houses and in the streets. And when they had rent in pieces the books of the law which they found, they burnt them with fire. So here again we find that they are destroying our history. They are destroying our heritage. They don't want us to know where we came from, all right, so they can rule over us, all right, and discontinue us from our heritage and make us not understand that we have a birthright. And whosoever was found with any book of the testament or if any committed to the law, the king's commandment was that they should be put to death. Now that's similar to when we was over here in slavery and they didn't allow us to read the Bible. It's a reason, because this is our history book. This is our heritage. And since we don't know, we've been made to forget, we can't claim our blessings, and thereby we are being destroyed and withering away until this day. But the Most High is restoring his people. Thus did they by their authority unto the Israelites every month, to as many as were found in the cities. Now the 25th day of the month they did sacrifice upon the idol altar, which was upon the altar of Elohim, at which time, according to the commandment, they put to death certain women that had caused their children to be circumcised. And they hanged the infants about their necks and rifled their houses and slew them that had circumcised them. Remember, that was a commandment of the covenant of the Most High to Abraham and all of his seed, that we should be circumcised. Howbeit, many in Israel were fully resolved and confirmed in themselves not to eat any unclean thing. Wherefore the rather to